Okay. So what it is saying, uh, write a SQL query to find the employees who are managers and return the field. Okay. Job ID is like, okay. Mm-hmm. 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 Okay. See. Yes. This is so. Whoever don't know, the way Ashley has used is called use of subqueries. Okay. So he is using nested queries. Basically, he is using queries under a queries, and he is selecting these tables. Basically, he is also joining these tables, but the way is little different. He is using subqueries. Okay, and this particular way is very inefficient, very, because if you are not joining a table, if you are using this particular in condition, this particular in condition slower downs your performance. Okay, so can you write a query, can you write a same join query below that? Okay, it's written over. Okay. Can you send me this query with the answer, with the question? Just ping me here. I will share my screen. Then you can, after this question, you can share the screen. You can see my screen, correct? Uh, Nobody is able to see my screen. I have shared my screen. Shravan, Ashley, can you see my screen? Not yet. Please let me know once you can see my screen. Okay. You are able to see or unable to see? Oh, it will be. Okay. Okay. What happened? Okay, Ashley, please share your screen. I will fix my internet. Okay. Okay. Can you write a query related to this particular department ID and location ID? So select department ID, comma department name, department, hmm. Inner join location, inner join locations on, go down, L, give a alias as L, location L, on L dot location ID or D dot location ID. Also give a alias as D for departments. Not here, not here. It should be after the, yes, it should be after departments table. Please give the alias departments D, space D. Yes, L dot location ID is equal to D dot location ID, where city equal to London, where L dot city, L dot city is equal to London. Can you run it? Okay, wait, before running department name. Also add the department name, comma department name. Okay, so just wait. Just run the first query and enable this estimated plan. You have a tick option. After tick option, can you go up? After execute, it's the fifth option. Fifth. One, two, three, four, five. Yes, after that. Yes, include execution plan. Include execution plan and live queries. Yes, include that. Click on to that. Yes. Then run it. Run the first query first. When you go little up, first query. No, not that. That in query. I'm talking about the first query which you have written. Yes. Execute it and just expand that. See, so guys, here you can see this particular, uh, what it is doing. It is searching everything. Here you can see we have a clustered index scan for locations and department ID. So every time what it is doing, it every time it in the inner query, what it is doing in the inner query, it is running everything and getting it in an array, and it is making a loop. Okay, and that particular loop is uh, is taking one particular location ID and searching in the whole table. One, it's do that, and then again it goes for the other location ID. So it is doing like that. Okay, so this particular nested loops are very slow, because for every, let's suppose in this particular in the first query we have where location ID in, select location ID from locations. So basically what I'm doing, I'm giving an array and I'm asking the compiler to run it one by one, and this particular method is very inefficient. Let's suppose if we have millions of record and we are used into a in this particular subqueries in command. So what it will do, it will be so slower that for those million record it will go and iterate the loops million time. Okay, so let's suppose in the departments table we have 20 records, and in the locations table we have 10 records. Okay, so it will run the loop around 20 into 10. around 200 times. Okay, so this particular method is very inefficient. That is why it is recommended not to use in or not in statements inside our uh, query. When you go down, actually please go little down and run that particular query. Okay, yes. Here you could see that we are getting an index seek. Seek is basically, there are two things, guys. We have scan and a seek. So a compiler, whenever it is scanning, uh, let's suppose we have to find a word. So what we do, in a dictionary we are scanning every page. We are scanning every page and checking whether where we are getting those records, and or rather than, we have another method that we go into that particular dictionary context or that dictionary keys where we mention the uh, what we call it as there's the dictionary keys where we mention it, the locations for where. Okay, so for that what we'll go, we will go in the front page, we will check where this particular, in on what page we are having this particular word. We directly open that page and get those records. Okay, so that is called seek. Basically scanning is scanning the whole table itself, and uh, seeking means we know that this particular table, yeah, this particular record is present in this particular page. We directly go there and use it. Okay, so that is why this is a more useful. So seeking means we have only one, we are seeking only one record, and using that one, basically we have run the loop, but we have run it only one time. Okay, uh, one into the 20 data which we have in our departments table. Okay, so this particular index scan and index seek, we will learn about like what is index scan and what index seek, and according to that we will talk about the optimization also. Okay, any questions so far, guys? Yes, please. Yes, please. I'm not. Yes, please. Guys, I can see your screen, but I'm not sure. Okay, you are also using the same subqueries. Guys, why you are using every time subqueries? Okay, okay. Try what I will suggest to Anjali. Try to write the queries in the both way, using joins as well or using in and not in commands as well. If you master this now, if you know how to write this particular in and not in, using how to use, when to use in and not in, how to use the joins without in and not in, you will be like, you can be writing any queries. Okay, yes please, what is the question? Right. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm. Can can you go up little up? There is a link I have provided. No, I guess in the document I have a link I have provided. Just go up. Actually, meanwhile, you also check if you have any question. Please ask it. Okay. What? Okay. Okay. So you also don't have that table, correct? Just a minute. Let me check. What is the question number? 51. Okay. I think that is missed somewhere, Anjali. 51, no? That table only? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes, yes, please, because this is very using in and like, see, we can use subqueries. I don't have problem in subqueries, but when we start using in commands, in not in, that is very inefficient. You don't know that is the impact on the database. It could create lot, and it could create blocking sessions very easily. So uh, uh, to HR database, it's a HR database, no? Okay, so just give me some more time. I will check it. Where please send me these questions in this particular chat itself. Okay. So actually, you have the same problem, correct? Yeah, yeah. I will check it. Maybe I have missed some of the tables. I will provide those tables and the updated document, or else I will provide the tables and the dummy data. Okay. Uh, Guys, can you let me know if you could see my screen? I'm not sure why it is happening. It's raining here in Pune. Oh, thank God. Okay. So, okay. Last time we have talked about Excalibur. We have talked about triggers. Okay, what are triggers and how we are going to implement triggers? What are the use of those triggers? Okay, so I'm just giving a recap, and we will today see how these triggers works. And okay, so okay, so this particular trigger. Let's talk about trigger. So this particular trigger is being created when, if we are doing some specific task or a event, okay, and based on those event, if you want to do, or if you want to do some specific tasks, okay, then we will be using this particular trigger. We have, we have an example like creation of an audit table, okay. So let's suppose we have an audit or a history table, and in this particular main table, let's suppose if we are inserting something in this particular main table, and in this particular main table, the moment we insert anything, that data will be also inserted to this particular audit table or the history table. Then we will be using triggers. This is one example, okay. We have different triggers, that is for, after, and instead of, okay. So for and after will be used whenever we want to, whenever program, whenever we a DML command or a whenever a DML command is successfully completed, then only we will be using this particular for and after command, okay. Okay, now similar to that, in this particular trigger concept also, we have discussed about two different magic tables, that is inserted magic table and a deleted magic table, okay. So in this particular inserted and deleted magic table, what it is, that whenever we are inserting any records in a main table, that for that, this particular, the moment of execution, okay, let's suppose we have inserted we have inserted some record, and the moment the execution continues, okay, that data also remains there into that particular inserted table, and those inserted table are, or those tables are called magic tables. Similar to that, we have another magic table called delete. So if we delete anything from a table, that remains there into a deleted magic table for during the execution of that particular query, okay. Let's suppose we are deleting something, and the moment, or for the execution of that particular delete query, that particular data is remains there into this particular deleted. Now when we come into the updating a statement, that this particular update statement involves two things. First, we are deleting that particular record. If you think about that, if we are deleting a particular records, and then we are inserting two records, inserting some records here, okay. So in this case, what happens, that this particular data, the deleted or the old data, okay, the old data and the new data. So here will be the old data and the new. The old data will be present into that deleted magic table, and the new data will be present into this particular inserted magic table, okay. Now this is all about query of execution, that how insert, how do, when a query is being executed, so we are firing an insert DML statement, and this insert DML statement is adding data into this particular table, and for that duration only, that particular whatever records, let's suppose we have some 10 set of records, and those 10 set of records which we are inserting into the main table, that also present into this particular inserted magic table, okay. So now this is the whole this is the whole idea about triggers. So today, what we need to do, we need to create three different triggers, okay, that we will be creating for inserting, deleting, and updating a record, okay. So let's check how we are going to insert that, okay. So okay, so we will be creating a trigger. We will be creating a trigger, okay. So here you can see that I have two different, I have a table called okay. So I have a table called employees, or I have a table called location. So let's make another table. So what is our basic, we have a location table, okay. And in this particular location, we will create another table called location history. Basically it is a history table, and whatever, let's suppose if we are inserting something, that new record will also be inserted into this particular history table. If we are deleting something, that deleted data is also being maintained into this particular history table, okay. If we are updating something, that updated records, let's suppose we have the newer record into this particular location table after updation, but what we have before updation, that will be updated into this particular location table, okay. So let's create that. What I'm doing, I'm just creating this particular location table, and Guys, please. Okay, what happened? So, so I'm just creating this particular location history table, and for this location history table, we will be taking the two different IDs. Okay, so this will be the ID of the location. This will be the location ID which we have in the actual table in this particular location table. Okay, so let's not touch that. Okay, so I'm creating a ID for the location history ID. Okay, so this will be the ID of this particular table. So basically, whatever we are okay, location hist ID, and I'm making this as an identity because that will be incremented automatically. Okay, identity 1, 1. Okay, and along with that I'm also inserting two different I am adding two different columns, that is location should be end, and I'm adding two different, that is created date, date date time, and I'm making the default value as get date. Okay, so I don't want to add every time the date and all, so I'm just making the default as get date. Whenever a record got inserted, it will take the data automatically and load it. Now we have another, I'm creating another column, that is called created by, that will be varchar 50 default is user is name. Okay, I'm do something wrong. Print I. Okay, so this particular data, so I'm creating this particular history table, and we have created the history table. And now what is our idea? So the idea is to create a trigger, between this particular location and location history table, location history history table. So now we will be creating a particular uh, insert trigger. Okay, so for creating a trigger, we will write as create, and the syntax will create trigger, and we have to create a trigger. So the trigger name will be tr, it starts from tr underscore, and we will give the uh, table name. So it is on location hist. Okay, and we are creating this trigger for insert. Okay, so the main idea is whenever we are inserting any record in this particular location table, that the same data will also get inserted in this particular location history table. Okay, create table on, so we are creating table in this particular location table. Okay, so on dbo dot location. Okay, for insert. Okay, insert as begin and shit and end. Okay, so what I'm doing, dbo dot locations, location or locations, location. So what I'm doing, I am inserting a record. I'm inserting all records into that location history table, dbo dot locations history table. Okay, so alt F1. I want to add the data in this particular tables, in this particular columns. Okay, so what I will do, I will, okay, press alt and select, oh, sorry, let's see, from inserted. Okay, so every time from the beginning itself, I'm saying there is a table which we are having in this particular magic table. So this is the magic table. We have two different magic table, that is inserted and deleted, and this is how we are using this particular magic tables. Okay, so I'm using i dot. Okay, and basically what it is doing, it is we are creating a trigger named tr location history ins on this particular dbo locations for insert. Basically whenever we are inserting, this means for insert means that whenever we are inserting a record, it will insert the data into this particular location history table, and whatever data, like मुझे कैसे पता चलेगा, how I will know that what kind of data we are inserting. Okay, to avoid these to avoid more thinking or more complexity to the program, here this particular trigger or the magic tables comes into the picture, because whatever records we are inserting, that records will be there into that particular inserted table during during the execution of this particular trigger. Okay, or this particular insert statement. So what we will do, we will simply go to this particular inserted magic table, select all the records and put it there into this particular history table. If I create it, here you could see that it is being created, and let's try to insert a value. Okay, so insert into locations. Okay, so I'm using this particular, okay, values. Okay, so we have these type of locations. Let's add something from, okay, so I am putting this as values as 3300 comma, I am just putting the street address as Wakad, Pune. Okay, postal will be 411057 and city will be Pune and state will be Maharashtra, and the India country ID will be IN India. Okay. See, so I am inserting record in this particular location table. Okay. If I try to insert that here, you could see that we are getting a two different one row affected, one row affected. That means if I try to select the data, so if I try to select the data this from this particular history uh, and the location table, so here you could see I have inserted a record called 3300, and after creation of that trigger, we don't need to create anything. We don't need to. That trigger will insert the data into this particular history table also. Okay, and let's try to create a update or a delete. Okay, so what I will do, I'm using the same trigger, so I will write as I'm creating a delete trigger. So if I'm deleting anything, that data will be inserted into this particular history table. So that is the main motive of using this particular trigger. Okay, so what I will do, I will use this particular control C. Okay, so for that, what I'm doing, I'm creating a trigger and I'm naming it as del, and for delete. So basically what I'm doing, I'm creating a trigger for this, and this particular location for location history table for dvo.locations, and for delete, like if I'm deleting anything, that data will be inserted to this particular location history table, and from where we will be accepting accessing that deleted data, that we have a magic table called deleted. Okay, so we can access that deleted data from here. Okay, instead of I, what I will do, i will I will use D. Okay, so basically what I'm doing, I'm using this particular deleted magic table, because whatever we will delete, it will be there into this particular deleted magic tables. And okay, so this is being executed, and now if you try to delete anything, okay, delete from locations where location ID is equal to 3300. Okay, 3300. Okay, if I executed, delete from location, what cannot insert. Okay. The thing is that duplicate key where the same as primary location ID. Okay, so the thing is, we have created this primary clustered on this particular table. Okay, so that is not allowing us. So basically, we don't want this. Okay, I'm just dropping this table. So we don't want this primary key thing. So that is why it is not getting inserted here. Okay, so the main idea is basically uh, cannot insert a duplicate key in the location history. The duplicate key is 3300. Okay, primary key. By mistakenly we have created this particular location ID as a primary key. I don't want that. So whenever you are creating a local history table, make sure that only this key will be unique. Other can repeat it, because you can do numerous types of manipulation into a data. You can do multiple deletes, you can do multiple updates, multiple inserts. Okay, so if you start creating that as a primary or unique, okay, so I need to drop this particular table. See, I have dropped this particular table. Okay, I've just created this again. Now created this particular. I have created this trigger. Okay. Okay, it is already there into this particular database. Now let's create on location history. Create. That is also there. Let's try to execute it now. Now, if I try to execute it here, you could see that that is being executed. And if I try to select everything from both the tables, so here you could see that the data is being deleted from here. Okay, so data data location tables तो delete हो गया, but it is being there into this particular history table. So basically अपन का काम क्या है, trigger, why we are using trigger. So whenever we want to enforce, okay, so enforce the business rules, okay, enforce the business rules. So जब भी हम लोग को बिजनेस रूल्स को इन्फोर्स करना होता है, वी कैन यूज दिस पर्टिकुलर ट्रिगर्स. ओके, so this triggers can be used multiple ways. ये बहुत जगह यूज होता है. I have created a document, if you could see that. So uh, so where we can use this particular, इसको एक ट्रिगर के अंदर अपन क्या नहीं यूज कर सकते हैं, लेट्स डिस्कस अबाउट दैट. सो फॉर द फॉलोइंग ट्रांस इक्वल स्टेटमेंट्स आर नॉट अलाउड टू यूज इन दिस पर्टिकुलर डीएमएल ट्रिगर. So we can't alter, create, drop a database here. We can't restore a database. We can't restore a log. We can't, because these are all DDL commands, and we can't do that. Okay, we can't create an index to that. Okay, we can't create alter an index. We can't drop an index. We can't drop a table. Okay, we can't alter a partition function. Okay, we can't do that. Okay, we can't drop a primary key or modify or drop columns in a trigger. So these are not used. There are few examples of using this particular trigger, that using a DML trigger with a reminder message. Basically, we are using this DML trigger to send a reminder. Okay, so what it is saying, create a trigger on reminder on sales customer. Basically, we are creating a trigger on sales customer after insert or update. If we are inserting and updating anything, raise an error that notify customer relations 1610. Let's suppose if we are inserting into this particular customer table, we want to raise an error that that this table is being modified. Okay, so we will use this particular this is the one example. We have another DML, or we have another way of using this trigger, is that we can create a trigger to send a reminder. Okay, or to send a mail. Okay, so what if we are inserting anything in this particular, after insert, update, or delete, if we are inserting anything, what we need to do, if we insert anything into this particular customer table, what we will do, we will send a mail. Okay, so this is the SP which provides, which our database provides, msdb dbo sp underscore send mail send a db mail. So basically you will not able to send the mail right now because you don't have a smtp server right now. Okay, so what will be the recipient name, these are the four, what so whenever we update this particular sales customer, it says don't forget to print a report for Salesforce. Okay, so this will be a mail which will be triggered to the any of the support. Let's suppose if anything happens in any of the table, if we are deleting, inserting, or updating any records, and we want to set a trigger that it will send a mail to the support guys or to the database folks that that this table is being updated. So we can do this also. Here you can see using the DML after trigger to enforce the business rule between the purchase order and the vendor table. So basically what it is doing, it is first checking some conditions. Okay, so what it is doing, it is creating a trigger, and it is created that trigger in that insert. Okay, and in that insert, what it is doing, it is checking, select one from inserted as I join purchasing order where credit rating is greater than 5. Basically it is first putting a condition. If it pass that condition, or if it pass that condition, then only insert it. But here what I am doing, if it pass this particular condition, you have to raise an error. Okay, if this fails that particular condition, you don't have to do anything. So basically what it does, that if it satisfies this particular condition, you do the rollback transaction, but means you don't insert that. Okay, just roll back the transaction, just uh, just don't insert that into the table. So this is something which we have, and here is the command which we are using to insert this uh, in particular data into that particular table. Okay, these are few examples which I have shown you just to broaden your concept. Okay, we can also use a audit table. Let's suppose here also in this particular table we are trying to insert a data into this particular history table. Let's suppose we are inserting some uh, records in a batch. Okay, batch basically what we are doing. Okay, so let's suppose that we are trying to insert something in a batch, and in a batch we are inserting some 100,000 more than 1,000 records in a table. Okay, in a table we are trying to insert that. So for that, what we can do, we can also create a table. We can also create a table. Sorry, we can also create a history trigger, where that trigger will load the data into this particular audit table. So we will create an audit table to understand or to load or to बेसिकली अपन ऑडिट टेबल क्यों बना रहे हैं, ताकि अपन जितना भी रिकॉर्ड्स इंसर्ट कर रहे हैं ना एक बार में, उसका डेटा या हिस्ट्री मेरा रहेगा ऑडिट टेबल में. फॉर दैट ऑल्सो यू कैन यूज अ trigger. Okay, so this is the few examples of trigger. This trigger concept is very important and very useful. Please have a look of that, what are magic table, what kind of magic table we have, or so please get through those topics. That is very important. Yes, any questions so far, guys? Yashasvi, Shravan, Ashley, Anjali, any questions? Okay. 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 So these are all about triggers, guys. Hope you know that I have a playlist uh, related to Windows function. So that particular playlist is related to product-based questions. Please get through those all the questions there, and please make a note of that, and we will also discuss about that views and all. Okay, those tables and those questions and all. So this is all about creating a triggers. Now let's create a table, create a create a trigger related to audit. Okay, and in that particular audit table, what we will do, we will okay, so what we can, so create a audit create table, and this audit table will be used for every this audit table will be used for every after that we have different tables. Okay, we have employees id, locations, and department. So what we will do, we will create a single audit table, and we will use this audit table to check whatever we have inserted or what commands we have run on that time. Okay, did you understand the requirement, guys? Okay, just let me know what fields we can have it here. Okay, so first we can have the audit ID. So I will have the audit ID, that will be int, and that will be an identity. Okay. 1 comma 1. Uh, Now we will run as type of command. Okay, type of command. So that type of command will be varchar. That let's suppose just to have that, whether it is an insert command or it is update command, whatever we have it, we will keep it here, type of command. Now the other thing I the other thing we have is that object name, whether on what tables it is, or on what SPs we are creating that trigger. Okay, so we will write that object name will be varchar. We will write as created date time. Okay, this will be the object. Now we have the record counts. So how many record are modified? Okay, so I'm keeping it as int. Okay, so this will be my audit table, and created date, created time will be these things. Audit command, type of command, audit. Okay, control it. Now I'm using the same trigger. Okay, so we have creating this particular trigger. Okay, insert trigger. But now how we can alter a trigger? Okay, so for altering a trigger, we could simply write alter. So we can also use help text to see that particular trigger. So here in this way we can see that how that trigger is being made, and I'm using this trigger. So using help text you can see that what is the definition of a trigger. Definition of a trigger. Okay, so here I am inserting a record. So I don't want to touch it. Okay, for altering we will be using this particular alter trigger, and along with that insert, what I will do, I will write uh, uh, I will write another insert into audit of the table name. We have the audit table into the alter form. Okay. So we want to load the data into this particular three things, because for created date and created by, it will be generated by its own. Okay, so we don't have to worry about that. And now what we can do, we want to add a we want to so for what will be the type of command if it is being called inside this particular insert trigger. What we will do, we will keep it as values insert. Okay, insert. Okay, so it will be insert command. So my first problem is solved. We got the data for. So object name, what will be the object name? For object name, what we can do? So it is being uh, created like on location as well. So we can location object name will be locations. Okay, because for every separate trigger we will be doing that, or we can create dynamic also, but we can look at afterwards how we can create a dynamic. Now we have a record count. So for record count, what we need to do, if we declare something here, if we try to declare a variable, and that variable, what we will do, we will count the data into from this particular inserted table and put it here. Okay, so let's try to do that, whether we can do that or not. Declare at the rate count int. So this is how we have set at the rate count equal to, in small parenthesis, select count star from inserted. Okay, so here I'm counting it. Everybody is here. Yes or no? Shravan is not here. Okay, so so you can see my screen, guys. Yes or no? Hmm. Okay. So what I'm saying is that we are also inserting record in this particular audit table, and for that particular audit table, what we are doing, we have a, like, we are using into this insert. That is why we use the type of command as insert. For object name, it is clear that it's location only. So we have, for count, we have what we have I have done. I have declared a variable called count, and using that particular count, what I have done, I have count the record from this particular inserted table, and I'm putting it into this particular count variable, and I will use that particular count variable here. Okay, so if I try to execute it, okay, what, it is invalid, it should not be invalid. Insert into, okay, so let's try to execute it. If I alter this particular, this is being loaded, and if I try to insert this record, okay, I'm trying to insert this particular record, and instead of 1, what I will do, I will use the same, maybe that would be 3400. Instead of Walker, we will put it as Nagpur. Okay, Nagpur should be something to, I don't know, Maharashtra. Okay, if I executed here, you could see that here I have what I have done, I have inserted two records into this particular location table. Okay, let's check everything. Okay, so select start from locations, select star from locations, yes, and select star from audit table. Okay. So here you could see that I have inserted here two records, that is Wakad, Pune, Nagpur. Okay, and those records are also got inserted here, and along with the created date time, that when it is being inserted and by whom it is being inserted. Okay, this is in the audit table. So in the history table, we are actually maintaining the actual data, what data is being modified, what data is being deleted, what data is being inserted. We are handling those data, but in the audit table we are mentioning like that. Okay, at this particular create date time we have run an insert statement on this particular location table, and that particular location table we are trying to insert to it. Hope you understand the uses and uses of this particular trigger and how it works, very how it is very useful in this particular scenarios. Any questions so far, guys? Yes or no? Yes. I'm recording this session. Yeah. I'm recording this particular session. Uh, the next topic we have to cover is about the statical concepts. Okay, so this is our syllabus, guys. Okay, so we have talked about triggers, what types of trigger creation and altering of triggers. We talked about magic tables, type of magic table, implementation of trigger and auditing and use of this particular magic table. Okay, we have talked about that. This is very much important. Please make sure in the interview they will be asking about these things. Okay, the next topic is about this particular mean, median, mode and standard deviations. Okay, so we will discuss this. We will discuss few topics today, and in the next class we will discuss about this particular other topics like Turkish friends. So this is all about triggers today. Now let's talk about this particular uh, statical concepts. Okay, so we have, let's suppose we have, okay, it's okay. Okay, so for this statistics concepts, what we actually, what is mean, median, mode? Anyone? I just want to know what is mean, guys. Let's please unmute yourself. Let's talk it for a while. What is mean, median, mode? Hello. Okay. Yes. Okay. So yes. So for yes, please. Okay. Okay. Yes. And what is mode? Okay, I will tell you. Yeah, correct. Number of frequencies basically we are talking. Okay. So for mean, median, mode we have, for mean what we have is okay. For mean what we have that is the sum of observations. Okay, sum of observations divided by number of observations. Number of, yeah, how many observations we have. This is particularly we know it about mean. Okay, this is also equal to average. Okay, just a minute, guys. I'm just keeping myself on mute. क्या होगा? क्यों मार रही हो? जाओ यहीं से बंद करो, बाहर से बंद करके बाहर से छिटके ला के जाओ, बाहर से ही छिटके ला के जाओ ना. हाँ. Ah, sorry, guys. Okay. So for mean we have the number of observations. Okay. So for mean, median, mode we, okay. So for mean we have like we have sum of observation by number of observation. Okay, and this is also called average. Okay. So we will be implementing, the main idea is that I want you guys to implement this mean, median, mode. Okay, and I want you to after this particular I will only explain the concepts, and you have to find the uh, you have to find or create or take an example. For that I will give some question, you have to provide me the solution for that. Okay, for median we have, for median what we do, we basically the first step for this particular median is to first we sort our observation, we sort our observations. Okay, once we sort our observations, what we need to do, we check the number of observations, what number of observations we have. And if so, here it becomes cases. Okay, so if the observation is even or odd. Okay, if the observation is even or odd, what do you need to do? If the observation is, if the observation if the observation is even, so for that case what we need to do, we need to find the, for even condition only I'm telling, we need to find the n by 2 observation and n by 2 plus 1 observation. Okay, so this is the one thing we have to do. Now the other thing is, if it is the odd, the number of observation is odd, we just need to find the n by 2 observation. Okay, odd will be n by 2 plus 1 observation. Okay, So this is how we will be finding the median. Okay. Now the mode, we have to find the mode here, and for mode, what we need to do, mode is mode basically what we need to do. We will group the similar kind of observations. Okay, and also second is also check the count of number of repetitions of the observations. Okay, this is one thing. Third, what we need to do, so what we will do, first we will group the similar type of observations, and जब similar type of observation को हम लोगों ने group कर दिया, what we need to do, we need to check that that particular observations are repeated how many times. Okay, and then we will select the higher number of, we will select the observation with the higher repetitions. Okay, select the observations with higher repetition. Okay, so this is all about mode. Okay, there is another concept, guys, I called histogram. Okay, so I didn't mention that histogram is basically, it is same like mode only. Histogram basically, here we are selecting the observation with higher repetition, but in histogram what we will do, we will, in the histogram also we will group the similar kind of observations, and also only find the number of, we will find the count of the number of repetition for every observation. Okay, so this is also, histogram is also one of the concept for statistics. Okay, so my ask is from you that if you know this, please start learning this particular concepts and how we can implement. I want a query. Okay, I want a query related to this particular mean median mode on this particular payment table. I will give you some queries. Please try to get the answers for this particular query. Okay. Any questions so far, guys? Okay. Okay. So we have that particular question like find the average salary or the mean salary. Okay, that is the one of the example for mean, where we have to find the average salary. Okay, so this is related to mean, or there are multiple conditions where we'll be using this particular average salary. Uh, let's suppose we have a payments table. Okay, and in any of this particular payments table, I'm just giving a simple scenario where you can use this mean median model. So let's suppose I have a table called payments table. Okay, payments, and in this particular payments table we have a user and the amount which he is paying every time. Okay, and if someone asks me about to find the unusability. Okay, but if someone asks me to write a query, uh, write a query to find the unusual unusual behavior of payment amounts based on the mean salary. Okay, based on the mean salary. Okay, so basically what happens, let's suppose the question is write a query to find the unusual behavior of payment amount based on the mean salary. Okay, so let's suppose if a user one is paying, if the user one is paying $10. Okay, if user one is paying $10 and the same user is paying, again paying, let's suppose $20. Okay, so here, and the same user in some other time suddenly change the behavior, and it suddenly start paying $100. Okay, okay, so if you try to find that the average of this particular, uh, the average, if okay, so here the average is suddenly increased to 100. Okay, first he is paying 10 and 20 and 100. If we find the average of all three, what will be the average? 10, 100 plus 20, 120, 120 plus 10, it will be around 130. 130 by 3 will be around 60. Okay, and so this is an unusual behavior. Okay, so we can use this particular mean. If someone asks me to find the unusual, so you have to write a query that where you have to compare, you have to compare that mean amount, and using that mean amount, what you need to do, you need to compare that which of the payments are are greater than the mean amount. Okay, so this is how we can find the unusuality. This is one of the example. Okay, similar if we talk about median. Okay, so median is basically if you want to find that if you want to find that the in the mid of okay in the mid of in the okay if a what will be the median of a particular user, or if a mid of a month, what will be the payment for a particular user, you can use median there. Okay? You can find then by tooth observation and by tooth plus one observation. This is one thing. Let's suppose for mode there is another example. Let's suppose we have another uh, uh, we have another table. It is another user, and it is paying the payment of $10 and $30. It is paying like that. Okay, and if we want to find the number of observation mode, basically what we need to do, we have to group all these. Okay, we have to group this one. We will be grouping this one, and then we will be grouping tooth, and then we will be grouping this particular uh, third teeth. Okay, we will group it like it, and what we will do, we will sum it and check what were the number of observations. So for this the number of observation will be 3, for this the number of observation will be 1, and for this the number of observation will be 1. And then if we have to find that which of the user is doing the frequent payments or more amount of payments. Okay, so here we can use mode. This is the few examples where we are using this particular statistics. You will get multiple. These are very basic statistics concept, that is mean, median, mode, standard deviation. If you get time, please get through that and check what is rolling mean, what is commutative addition, and what is standard deviation. Please get through those. Okay, so that we can start, because this particular uh, uh, this particular query optimization is very big. So I need to get you think about a particular how a particular engine works, and this will be a okay uh, this will be a long class for career promotion. So yes, any questions so far, guys? Any questions on the previous, actually, apart from that missing table? Do you have any issues? Anjali, can you show me your solutions? What you are doing?